Family-owned shop in Loganville, Soesby's Garage for all your automotive repair needs. We service all makes and models, Ford and domestic. We repair engines, alternators, brakes, alignments, AC systems, and more, using certified technicians with over 90 years of combined experience. We also offer same-day service for some repairs. Soesby's Garage, 200 Bay Creek Road in Loganville. Dependable, honest, and fair. Look us up on Google or Facebook. We'll take good care of you.
Broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio inside the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. It's time for Case in Point, presented by Paradigm Security Services. We are the cornerstone of security in the Southeast.
Hey, welcome everybody to Case in Point once again, presented by Paradigm Security Services. I'm your host, Rick Strawn, the president of Paradigm Security Services, and we're excited to be with you again today on Business RadioX. We're coming to you from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio located in the beautiful Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel in Duluth, Georgia. Each week as we talk about security, we feature businesses in the Atlanta area, especially those that serve in the Gwinnett County. And a lot of what we do is just for the heck of it that I enjoy doing is we put nonprofits on here. And while all businesses, even nonprofits, have security concerns, not all are about physical security. And we'll touch on that and all related aspects of security through the course of each show. Our guest today, I'm pleased to have Sheila Crumrine. She works for the City of Suwanee for the Art for All Capital campaign.
Yes.
And we're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
I talked with some people. I talked with Linnea last week, and she's really big in the arts with Suwanee, and I know this campaign that y'all have going on is just an awesome thing, but usually what I do is I like to start out with, who is Sheila Crumrine? Where do you come from? Where were you born? How did you get into this passion that you have for working with the art?
Well, I was born in God's country, Crossville, Tennessee. Moved to Birmingham after going to Tennessee, University of Tennessee. Met my husband from the University of Alabama.
I'm sorry.
Third Saturday in October is not good at our house.
I bet.
And anyway, so we moved to Suwanee, Georgia about 22 years ago. And one of the things that we have absolutely loved about the city of Suwanee is we kind of grew up there with all of our friends. Our kids grew up there, but when we moved there, it was 2 lanes. Peachtree was 2 lanes, and Kroger was in Duluth, and the library was in Beaufort.
Oh, I remember that well. We moved here about 32 years ago as far as built our house, and we had to go to Duluth over there by Gwinnett Place Mall to go to the closest Kroger.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so that's one thing that we have, and this through the 20 years, being involved in the schools and the PTA and on various committees for the city of Suwanee, you just kind of, become involved and you see your community evolve.
What high school did your kids go to?
North Gwinnett High School.
Good school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my kids went to Collins Hill. We lived right over there close to it.
We're neighbors.
Yeah, really. I mean, everybody in Gwinnett is a neighbor.
Mm-hmm. I
mean, I don't care where it is. It's a big county, but you just feel like you're a neighbor with everybody.
Yes.
So what got you into this field that you're into as far as I guess, how did you field a place or find a place that would let you put your passion out there? Because it's obvious you're passionate about the arts.
I think that as we started in our elementary schools, I was PTA president when we opened Level Creek Elementary.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we really strived for was to bring the arts into our schools. So each year we would partner with different art venues. We've brought Holocaust survivors to speak to the kids. We've brought graphic artists that do spray painting, graffiti art. We've brought programs, and each year we would probably put close to $5,000 into our arts and education.
It's a lot for a small school.
It's a lot for a small school, and our kids grew up with outstanding arts. And then at the middle school, we have an amazing music program at North Gwinnett Middle School. and we have an orchestra program and a band program, and there's a very high percentage of the kids involved in music, and so it's just part of their life. And it's so now that my kids are out of school, one's off the payroll, and the other's
I know that
at
feeling.
UGA, and so this was just kind of a great next step and Denise Brinson called me and said, would you like to be involved in this? And I said yes, because we've seen so many vital things going on in Suwanee, and the public art that they have currently is just amazing. It's a program that I think all of Gwinnett and all of Atlanta, recognizes.
Well, I know that they've done a lot over the years for developing their program with the arts in the city of Suwanee. Suwanee has just done an excellent job developing everything that they could for the public. It's just been amazing to watch. I like the name Art for All. Tell us a little bit more about the campaign itself.
Art for All is a campaign. It's just that it's for everyone. Public art is something that when you actually think about it, it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter your gender. It doesn't matter your socioeconomic status. It's for everybody. And so we see kids that are 5 years old looking at a piece of art, standing next to their grandmother who may be 75 years old, and they both see different things. Mm-hmm. But it's just a way for people to communicate, and it's an experience.
Well, I know that with the City of Suwanee and its Public Art Commission, they're embarking on this capital campaign to raise funds for 3 public arts installations, including an interactive signature piece that will enhance 25 acres addition to the town center park. I know these pieces will attract a catalyst to transform the project from a park to a place. I think that's what your goal is.
That is what our goal is. And in 2001, the citizens of Suwanee voted for green space. We were able to acquire 350 acres of open space, and we created 5 new parks. So for the past 20 years, the citizens, we want a place to take our kids. We want a place to walk the dog. And so that has been a huge focus point. And once you have 5 new parks and all this green space, public art just kind of became the next step. We have rotating every 2 years. We put in a new public art installation, and we've kind of grown to be known for that. So the next step, obviously, with the new expansion of Town Center Park, it's going to be basically 23 acre. Well, it's going to be a little more than that. But what we're going to accomplish is a brand new Town Center Park connected to the current Town Center Park. It's going to have a waterfall area. It's going to have a bridge, pedestrian bridge, volleyball courts. And within this, to make it a place, not just a park, we're going to put an interactive signature piece of art. If you think about when you go to Chicago, where's the first place you go? You go see the Bean in Chicago. Mm-hmm. That is an interactive piece of art. Everyone takes a photograph with it. They look at it. It's a destination. That's the type of piece of art that we want to put at the highest plateau in the new park. You'll be able to stand on the steps of the library, the Suwanee Library, and look out at this just magnificent new park. Where the other park has a stage performing area, this park will not. It will have volleyball courts, water features, a bridge, and the highest point will have this destination piece. When your kids come home from college with their friends, this is the first place they're going to want to go. When your family comes into town for Thanksgiving or Christmas, this is some place you're going to take them. This is going to be, as we said, interactive. We haven't chosen the piece, and the piece will not be chosen. We're going to actually have a consultant help us with that. But it will be, that will be the main piece, and that is what the Art for All capital campaign is doing. This is not taxpayer money. This is contributions from businesses and from individuals and from families. That is what has been driving our public art initiative for the past years in Suwanee. We will have a piece at the gateway where we call the opening of the park, just kind of welcoming everyone. And then what I think is really the coolest, and most of the kids under 10 will think this is the coolest, we're going to have an art installation in the tunnel that goes underneath the railroad. So
An installation.
we're going to have some type of public art installation in the tunnel underneath the railroad tracks.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
That sounds really
Kind
cool.
of a tease.
Yeah.
They guess what's coming next.
And we actually started the proceeds from an event we had called Guess Who's Coming to Cocktails a couple of years ago at Suwanee City Hall, where you have no idea who was performing next. You had no idea who was coming. Guess Who's Coming to Cocktails. And the proceeds from that actually started the, I guess, kind of the process of putting something underneath the railroad in the tunnel.
Wow, you got a lot going on.
We do have a lot going on. But
I know, all great cities, they have long been considered, they have a public art component if they're going to have a vibrant community. And it's an essential element of placemaking and city design to have a tool for promoting connectedness and economic development, and a means of providing people with experiences. And you just pretty much went right down the list of checking off all those boxes.
And I can tell you there's two things that we currently have now at Suwanee City, at Town Center Park. And I guess a lot of folks our age, it's like when you think about this, we have a piece of the Berlin Wall in Suwanee Town Center. You can go there in 30 minutes. You can be there. It's a 12-foot piece of the Berlin Wall that was purchased and donated to the city. It is 8,000 pounds, so it's not.
It's not going to disappear.
It's not going to disappear anytime. But I think a lot of people remember where they were, and we actually watched the Berlin Wall fall.
Yep.
We have school groups that come and look at it, and other people that come and look at it, and it's very. It's a piece of history. Living in Suwanee. We also have a piece called Remembrance, which is very impactful. It's a piece of the World Trade Center, one of the buildings, some of the steel from one of the buildings that fell on 9/11. And that is a very emotional, and most all of us can remember where we were at 9 a.m. the morning of September 11th. And so to be able to actually go and look at a piece of this and to have that memory and to be able to pay that respect, that's two of the pieces of sculpture that we have in Suwanee Town Center right now. So,
it's I think it's interesting, and I think it's extremely important that we preserve history and have things like this. There's so much going on today where they're trying to destroy history and to, make it go away, and you can't do that. I mean, if you don't pay attention to what's happened, you have a tendency to repeat it. And to know the history of what we've been through and what other people have been through. I know on the 15th, or the 26th, 15 days after 9/11, I was down at Ground Zero.
wow.
And that has been something that I will never forget, seeing the huge beam just twisted like a pretzel when they were hauling it out on a big truck, and being able to go down to Ground Zero and actually pray with some of the people. It reminded me of an anthill from that big church where we went, and they were feeding the people and giving them rest, to where it was just one line going in, one line going out. It was like an anthill, and it was just constant. It was like it was alive.
And it's when you have something like that happen in your country, but the city of Suwanee, as I said, these are just two of the pieces in the permanent collection that are housed at Suwanee Town Center Park. And it's, just to come up and have lunch and go out and see it. We have several pieces. We have some dogs sculptures that are in the park, and those were given in memory. Dick Cunningham, who is the owner of Ippolito's, he gave those in memory of his son. And his granddaughter said, "Dad, he he loved dogs. Let's do the dogs. And so he has given those in memory. Now, that has a special memory for him versus, someone else, but it's...
And it's a great thing for kids and stuff like that.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. But, so for what the Art for All campaign, what we are doing is we are looking at, we kind of developed a public art master plan in 2015. We work with the city council, the staff, the Public Arts Commission, specific, residents in Suwanee and businesses, and that's kind of the key word is that we all work together, and that's kind of the key word is all. Everybody kind of has the same goal, and so we did contract with a public art consultant, an urban designer, and we came up with a public art master plan. And the master plan has, information and ideas and thoughts from all aspects, from, elementary school children to grandma and grandpa.
Give you kind of a progression of how you're going to do this, what comes first.
Yes, and how we're going to do it. Currently with the current park, we knew that there was an opportunity there for an interactive, just a signature piece of public art, not just for Suwanee, but for Gwinnett and for the region. We have kind of, currently we are looking to raise $1.25 million for those three pieces, with the majority of it going to this signature piece of art. At this time, we're a little over $400,000 in commitments, which is amazing because
Your end goal is what?
$1.25 million. We're looking at kind of doing, we have businesses. We have one business in Suwanee, and this is just amazing to me. It's Quantum Bank, and they have really stepped up. They were our first visionary sponsor of $100,000 because the City of Suwanee, it's kind of like how I feel. We grew up with them. They kind of feel the same way. That's our community. That's our family.
I've noticed Quantum really is into really working a lot and making a lot of donations and helping out. Instead of spending public money where they can help out and to raise money.
Yes.
So it's been an awesome thing to watch with Quantum.
And we have, my husband John and I, we are, one of the reasons that we're giving is because I think about, my kids have grown up in Suwanee, and we moved here, we didn't know anyone. And so, our friends and our family that we've met through school and sports and everything, in church, our church family, that's our family now. That's who we vacation with. That's who we have Thanksgiving with and Christmas. And we want to give back to the community. We want to give back to the City of Suwanee in a way that when my daughter and her daughter are standing there long after we're gone, Caitlin can look at her daughter and say, this is what Grandma and Grandpa did, and this is where we lived, and this is our home, and this is where I grew up. And it's kind of, I guess it's kind of a way for us to give back to our community.
Well, it's important. I mean, the community gives so much to us when we're raising our children, in friendships and in just interaction. And I think it's important to give back to that community. And it's amazing what you can accomplish when it doesn't matter who takes credit for it. It just,
Correct.
It's just amazing to see what goes when everybody gets together and works toward a single goal, such as the Arts Project here. And you're focused on that, and everybody's not worried about who does what. It's just we want to get to the end goal of 1.25.
Right. And a lot of things you'll see, obviously the business community is behind this, because when you have art in your community and you have public art, that brings in creative workforce. It brings in people want to come up, let's go up and let's have lunch at Ippolito's, and let's go look at this piece of art. I'd love to go look at the Berlin Wall. Let's go have lunch at Mellow Mushroom and meet Jill, and go get some ice cream at Rita's. So it helps our economy, obviously, and our businesses, all around the area. by having the public art initiative.
Oh, it makes it home.
Right.
And when you're home, it's a lot easier just to relax and enjoy it and enjoy your family. And I've noticed Suwanee, and as well as some of the other towns, it's been like the the little jewel up on the hill that everybody wants to model. I want to be kind of like what Suwanee's done, only I want to do one better. So far, nobody's managed to do one better. But the way they've got the town center set up, the way it's developed, the way it's come about, and now going to expand it even more is just
Yes.
truly amazing.
Yes, we had at one point we had said it would be the second largest urban park in the state, but we were corrected to be the third largest behind Piedmont Park and one of the others. But it's great because at one point you can have lunch, you can buy a new toy for your dog here, you can get some ice cream, you can walk under the tunnel. We have a new brewery, Still Fire Brewery, that just opened,
Yeah,
so
I
mom
saw
and
that.
dad can get a little ice cream or a little refreshment there and walk over to the park, go to the library. It's just going to be amazing. And the bike trails, the walking trails all around there. And it also connects to Suwanee Playtown. That is a playground that the community built probably, I'm going to say at least 15 years ago, where we all showed up one Saturday morning and two people spearheaded it. And Home Depot actually gave us a lot of the supplies, and we physically built this playground. And the tire swings, the swings, and the way we paid for what we needed to is everybody gave $50 for a fence post with their name on it. And that's kind of the spirit in Suwanee and in the community.
And you feel a part of it.
Right.
I mean, literally, you are a part of the park.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many people that I know are doing a lot to work on this new expansion that you're doing and with the arts. How, I know you've gotten to 400. What are some of the ways that you reach out to interact with these people to bring them in to maybe make the donations?
Well, you can. I think a lot of times when you talk about public art, people are like, well, I'm giving to this, I'm giving to that. Why do I need to give to public art? What sets it apart? Something about public art, and a lot of the people in the city of Suwanee, a lot of our friends and family, we're giving because we're giving back to the place where we raised our children, where they grew up, where we now call home. A lot of people, most everyone that moved there, not a lot of people are from Suwanee.
That's correct.
That did not grow up, and so we look at that, as a personal decision. We want to be able to give back to a community that's given us so much. A lot of businesses give back. They realize the community that it brings, the business that it brings, the workforce that it brings. People that we're reaching out to now, everything is obviously, we are a nonprofit. We are partnered with the Community Foundation for Northeast Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So all donations are tax deductible through the 501c3. This is, for example, Quantum Bank and their donation. That's an investment in their community.
Sure.
And I think that's one thing a lot of the businesses we talk about. This is an investment. We also have a couple of people that are going to do memory gifts in memory of a loved one that has perhaps passed away. There are naming opportunities available for certain gifts to the campaign, perhaps naming an area of the park or a specific piece of art in honor and memory of a loved one. Company gifts can be matched. Matching gifts are included. So, we can obviously...
So really, there's just a plethora of ways that people can get involved in doing this.
Correct.
And all of them sound pretty interesting.
Correct. And I think, in the end, it's something that not just the city of Suwanee is going to be, but I think it's a piece of art that Gwinnett County and the Atlanta region and even the Southeast, I think people will be driving from everywhere to see this. I think it's going to bring just a more diverse population to our city. It's just going to bring so many people, artistic people. It's going to be an outing for your family.
Well, instead of going to Stone Mountain, they can come here to Suwanee Town Center.
They can go to Suwanee Town Center, and everybody's going to be excited. Mom and Dad can go to the brewery, and
there you go.
The kids can go to Rita's and get some ice cream.
That sounds like pretty good. I know, when you're looking at doing this, it's so hard a lot of times to get it off the ground. But with y'all, it kind of started so long ago, it's not really getting it off the ground. It's just continuing the movement. And I know that getting the investments from the people is important, but getting the time and the energy and the moral commitment to it sometimes is as important as receiving the money, which generally generates the money. Mm-hmm. But with everything the way you're pointed, it sounds like that's one of the big goals is to get people interest in it to where they get a commitment. And not just so much as the money commitment, but a commitment to see it progress and go from there. Correct.
So when we look at currently in, I guess, kind of the capital campaign phase that we finished what we kind of call the private phase, where we've reached out to friends, businesses, and now we're kind of in the public campaign. We're looking next spring to kick off what I kind of call the community campaign. Buy a brick for $50 or whatever we're going to do, but we want every family that lives in our area to be able to give to this, because this is going to be such a magnificent, awesome, really cool thing that we're doing in Suwanee. But we want everyone to give, whether you can give $100,000 or you can give $10. So we really want, we're incorporating everyone in our area and giving them different ways to give, so that everyone feels that they're part of this.
And Suwanee and Gwinnett and everything, and it's beginning to be more accepted and understood, has a regional effect.
Yes.
It's just like when the Centennial Park was built. We invested in a brick down there with my wife's parents on it. So, it's one of those things where you do, where they had a World War II memorial. We invested in a brick for her dad. It's a small way of giving back that you feel a piece of it. And it really, you get excited about doing it. And it's something you like to go back and see, and you like to show your kinfolk or your friends,
yes,
like you were talking about earlier. So it gives everybody the means to do something that doesn't break their budget, but it's important. Every brick, so to speak, helps.
It does. Every brick helps. And I think once we kind of get off the ground with, we are hiring a consultant to help us with the design of the piece of art. The piece of art has not been chosen.
If you need any help, just let me know.
Thank you so much. Everyone has a different viewpoint of what it should be here or there, but we are going to have someone come in and help us kind of with the design phase and what they think it should be. But as I said, this is something that's going to be, when we talk about public art, people kind of have an idea, especially in Suwanee, it's a piece of art, it's a man sitting here, it's Mr. Eggert, who is our egg that's in the middle of the park now. But they've never seen anything like this. I mean, you've never seen anything like the bean when you go to Chicago. That's an experience. This is going to be an experience, and it's not just for the city of Suwanee. It's going to be for
Georgia.
For all of
for the
all of
Southeast.
Georgia, for the Southeast. And so, but we want everyone to feel like they're a part of it. So we want, the family that can only give $10, they're going to give $10, and
they're just as much of a part of it as the
Yes.
person that gives $100,000.
Yes.
That's important.
And so that is very important.
Well, I know that you've built on this success, and you've I guess this is pretty much how you continue. But is there other things going on that help you become to remain a leader in the region as far as the public art? You got anything else going on?
I think that we have. It's just the vision of the city planners. It's the vision of the people that work at Suwanee. It's the vision of the people that live in Suwanee. And it's the fact that we all work together.
Is there any particular way the community in particular can rally around anything that we haven't talked about as far as the capital campaign?
I think just looking at this point now, we are just, as I said, in the middle of the capital campaign. We are looking at different ways people can donate. City of Suwanee has all the information, obviously, online. We have brochures that we've sent out to people. We've talked about, basically there is going to be 3 pieces of art from this capital campaign. One will be at the kind of the park entry, we call it, which will be on Suwanee Dam Road. And after the first of the year, you're going to start seeing construction on the park. Mm-hmm. The park is $17.25 million. $16 million already has been set aside and is ready to go. The park will be completed by mid-2021. So I think it'll take probably about 12 to 16 months for the park to be completed. And
it's not very long.
No, and it's very exciting. I mean, it's very exciting when you look at the Suwanee Town Center Park now. That land actually is where Margaret Mitchell, in one of our one of the history books, we found that Margaret Mitchell would come up there and ride her horse and started riding Gone with the Wind, where Suwanee Town Center Park is currently located.
That's awesome.
So,
I did not know that.
It is awesome. And so when you see kids there in the fountains and running around and meeting or singing on the stage, just pretending singing on the stage, or, you're there at a festival, you realize what a vibrant community center it is. And it's kind of the heart of Suwanee. And so to expand that and just to increase that, just to double that, is going to be even more vibrant.
It's amazing. Well, public art, I think it's important that, people know that public art enhances the culture of a community. It's timeless, it impacts generations, and it's accessible to everyone. It has become an important piece of what Suwanee does, I know, and what Suwanee is and how Suwanee is viewed. The City of Public Art program creates a dialogue with people that live inside and outside Suwanee. It really is a true differentiator and has become Suwanee's and Gwinnett's kind of niche in Metro Atlanta. And I think that, I thank you so much for coming on and getting your message out. And I want to, if anybody wants to get in touch with you or get in touch with the campaign, have you got some? Of course, you'll be out on Facebook and Twitter and all that from doing this. But is there a phone number or something or an email address that they can contact?
I think the best thing is City of Suwanee. Denise Brinson is at the City of Suwanee 60 hours a week. But just to call Suwanee City Hall. Suwanee City Hall is by far the best, and they can put you in touch with any of us. We have several people working on the campaign, obviously. Sure. Which is something, like I said, that's something just to help us create a place instead of a park is why we're doing this. The Art for All campaign committee, when you look at the people that are friends of the campaign and supporting the campaign, it's, any of us obviously can help with anything that you need. But Denise Brinson is at City of Suwanee. I'm Sheila Crumrine at iCloud.com. And Facebook and Twitter is probably the best way also.
Well, I'm sure you're going to be out there and about on both of them. Well, again, thank you, Sheila, for coming on and talking about the Art for All capital campaign. And I wish y'all a lot of luck. And I know that it's not just luck that you're going to need. You need those contributions. So
we do.
I want to strongly recommend that people get in touch with the City of Suwanee and see how they can help. So thank you all again once for joining me at Case in Point, presented by Paradigm Security Services. Remember, you can join us live every Wednesday at 11:30 in the morning, or you can listen to our show anytime you want by going to businessradiox.com, clicking on Gwinnett Studio, and then, of course, click on Case in Point. Join us next week at 11:30 when we'll talk to business leaders about their businesses, related security issues in today's world. Thanks again to my guest, Sheila Crumrine, and for my producer, Mike And I am Rick Strawn. And remember, let me tag in one little thing here about Soulsby's Garage. So I want to make sure that you all visit our sponsor. It's Soulsby's Garage, 200 Bay Creek Road, Suite 200, Loganville, Georgia. Call John at 678-825-2127. We are dependable, honest, and fair, and our lobby is clean and inviting. So come on in and talk to him. You'll have an honest experience. So again, I'm Rick Strawn, and remember, at Paradigm Security Services, we cover more than just your assets.